10 Minutes to Joy is your weekly invitation to reset, recharge, and rediscover your most joyful self through aha moments and simple energy techniques. You're listening to holistic psychotherapist Sylvia Plester-Silk. I worked with individuals, couples, and groups from parole officer to private practice. I've learned many a lesson, and I'm ready to share. Today, I want to talk about self-compassion for the holidays. As we get ready and we get excited and we want to make it perfect for everyone else, we so often forget about ourselves. So let's just stop, take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose together. Let's just ground ourselves. And you'll notice just simply taking those 3 breaths in through your nose and out through your nose, you're a little more settled and a little more relaxed or less stressed. So, technique number 1 that you can use all the way through the holidays and longer. Number 2, we're going to go back to basics today. Imagine those roots growing through your feet, growing deep, deep, deep down into the center of the earth where they wrap around the most beautiful rock or crystal that you can see. Breathing deeply as you do it. And if you're driving, please pay attention to the roads and don't close your eyes. If you're not driving and it's safe to do so, you may choose to close your eyes to do that. Okay, now we've got you grounded and we've got your attention. When we're stressed, we tend to be a lot more self-critical, and what we need is a whole lot more self-compassion and love. So, how can we do that this season? We've talked about parts before. There's parts of us that easily accept joy. There's other parts of us that struggle and don't think we're deserving. You may have an identity or a belief that you're not good enough, that you never get it right, etc., etc. So if we were doing cognitive behavior therapy, I'd ask you for evidence for that, and you probably wouldn't find much. But as you know, my work goes way beyond cognitive behavior therapy. So here's a few tricks that you might use this holiday. When you're getting really hard on yourself and being really almost abusive to yourself, stop. Then think about your child within. That young, little, beautiful child, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. And think about how gorgeous they were, how beautiful they were. How can you push these judgments and criticisms on that poor little baby self? Because when you judge yourself as an adult, you're judging yourself all the way down through till birth. So, how would you treat a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old during the holiday season? Hopefully, you wouldn't yell and scream and beat them and criticize them and do all those nasty things. Hopefully, you talk about what excites you about the holidays. What are you looking forward to? It might be, what do you want from Santa? We might take time with them to do crafts or just to read a book and slow down with them. We might play with them and make it lighter. It doesn't have to be stressful. We might say, you know what, that's hard for them. How can we make it more simple? So sometimes simply tuning in to a younger part of ourselves or a younger version of ourselves can help us have a lot more self-compassion. Another exercise that you could do is to just, again, close your eyes only if it's safe, not if you're driving. You may need to listen to this while you're not driving if you're currently driving. And simply imagine, focus first on your heart and your solar plexus. And just notice what's happening in that area, in those chakras right now, with no judgments, just with curiosity and caring. And now, what I'd like you to do is imagine wrapping yourself in beautiful, loving energy. Again, that loving energy you would send to a young child. That you want them to be loved and nurtured and cared for and all those beautiful things. And wrap that beautiful energy 360 degrees in and around your body. And now I want you just to simply breathe in that love energy, that divine energy, and simply be present with it. Take a few moments, take 3 minutes right now. There's nowhere you need to go, nowhere you need to be. Just simply being present with yourself is all that's required in this moment. Again, taking in that, just breathing deeply in, and as you inhale all of that love energy, exhale all the stress energy. Bringing in beautiful pink loving energy, exhaling the dark or heavy energy. And do that about 5 or 6 times. Slowly in, slowly out at your own pace. All right. So now we've got you grounded, a little bit more relaxed, surrounded in love energy. And when you're in that love energy, how can you have compassion for yourself? It's hard not to, actually. If you can just give yourself time to just sink into it and feel that feeling. Another way is to invite your angels to come and be with you. And I was having a discussion with a client a couple of days ago about they called their angels in, but they couldn't feel them. And the cool thing is sometimes we get caught in our own human stuff and we don't feel the angels, but they're present with us. So we can just ask them to come and help us, sorry, with whatever challenge we're having in the moment. I have done it where I've had a headache or a toothache, and I've asked them to come in and please release this toothache or headache. You might come in, ask them to come and help release and take away some of the judgments and self-criticism you're doing to help you be more loving. Another exercise that I use commonly with my clients that is a little harder to describe because I don't want to step on your beliefs in any way. I call it Divine Mother. Some people would call it Mother Mary, you name it, but it's that Divine Mother with all those beautiful qualities a mother should have, or the Divine Mother would have, that loving acceptance, willingness to take all the time in the world they need to hear you, to be present, to meet every need that you have, and love you through it all, even your temper tantrums and your challenges. And so, what you can simply do is just, again, get yourself in a nice, calm space using some of the techniques we've already talked about today. And then you can just simply ask the Divine Mother, please come and sit with me today. And you may feel the energy or not. Again, Divine Mother is just a huge energy of beautiful, loving energy. And so she can be in multiple places at once. So there's no worry about being greedy here or taking too much. Now that you've called her in, I ask that you visualize, and if you can't visualize easily, then sense yourself sitting on her beautiful big giant lap and just snuggling in and telling her all of your woes. What are you stressed about? What are you worried about? Running around trying to find the perfect recipe, etc. We don't need to do that. It's not that important. Just simply take time out. And I'm going to sort of maybe step on you and rush you a little bit here, but you can do this on your own and take as much time as you need, whether it's 30 seconds or 40 minutes. And then when you feel complete and heard, and you'll often have a sense that she's hugging you, or you'll feel that you're being embraced and listened to and just loved. So just sink into that energy and feel the love, feel the acceptance. And once you're done, I would just ask you to thank her for coming and supporting you today. So today we have talked about a number of very simple, I find them easy to do, but I've practiced them and they probably weren't easy when I first did them, techniques that you can do. So make sure that you're thinking of this. You can listen to my podcast 100 times if it's helpful. You can just simply take notes and do these exercises several times through the Christmas season. I would invite you to gift this podcast episode to all of your friends, to just love yourself through those last few days before the big event shows up. Because when we have loving compassion for ourselves, we can be so much more present for everybody that we're around and ourselves during Christmas, so that we can set boundaries when we need to. We can ask for help when we need to, and we can simply just take a break when we need to and be okay with it and love ourselves through that. So please share this podcast with multiple people. Maybe save it in your podcast app so that you can listen to it regularly and use the exercises until you become proficient in using them. I wish you all the best of the holiday season. I wish you a relaxed, joyful, connected, playful season. And I will see you next week on 10 Minutes to Joy. Take best of care and love yourself.